Well, hello, it's the Art Monarch. Today I'll be showing a doodle from a few days ago. This is a fairly detailed drawing, and I used the spiral technique, that's what I call it, where I start in the middle of the page, I go down to the right, and then I go up. To the left, I draw lines down, and then back to the right again in a spiral fashion. So that's what I did with this drawing. You'll kind of notice that. And I also made two faces, heads on the left side of the page, and they're all connected together. This is a very strange mechanism. It's a machine, maybe a jetpack. So you might be asking, what were the goals for this drawing? Obviously, the first one is to make a cool-looking drawing, to have a finished piece that looks interesting, and maybe it's something that you haven't seen before. The second goal, which is a little different than normal, is to make a machine that future people will find interesting. I want to make drawings that people from 300 or 400 years from now wonder about. They go and look at it, and they're like, what is going on here? Maybe some historian will find my sketchbook and then open it up and think that these are some kind of magical drawings that have some symbolism. I guess that a lot of my abstract drawings can look like ancient machines or some kind of mechanism that was built hundreds of years ago, and when future people look at it, they'll wonder if we are able to build things like that now. Sort of like the pyramids. What I find really interesting are ancient structures and just old buildings in general. There's a lot of different things that were built in the past that seem like they were ahead of their time. In fact, maybe things 1,000 years ago were extremely ahead of their time. Maybe we were more in the future 1,000 years ago than we are now, if that makes sense. Because yeah, we have a lot of technology, computers and all this, but what about the pyramids? What about people building this kind of stuff? What if time is actually moving backwards? Maybe we're not going into the future, but the past. Maybe the peak of technological advancement was thousands of years ago, and we humans just think that because we expand and build upon past creations, we improve them, that we're going into the future, we're making things better. Maybe it's all just getting worse. It feels like the most genius form of technology are often the most simple. Sure, you can add on all of these shapes and different lines, like this drawing here, and more dots and stippling, and it looks very advanced and like it actually makes sense and it does something, but really we're just taking basic things, basic shapes, basic details, and then putting them together to make it look like it's more than it is. But it really is just a few different basic things, and that's how everything works. Everything that's been invented are just simple ideas that have been connected together. Well, it's not that simple. There's things that are very difficult to understand, but you kind of get what I'm trying to say here, right? It's kind of a strange feeling when you look at the things you thought were very difficult and advanced, and then all of a sudden they kind of become easier and easier, and then you reach the opposite side, which is you're in the know, you know what's going on, you're in this advanced stage. Well, not me, I'm not really there yet, but you see the opposite side, you see how easy it is. It's not actually that difficult. It may look like it, but when you enter that place, it's just weird. I don't know how to explain it. But I'm like at a level 1 art level. I'm not 0. I'm definitely at the start, but the goal is to get to level 10. I'm at level 1, so I'm very basic. I'm at the start, but I'm almost at the second level here, and I feel like every 5 to 10 years is when you reach the next level as an artist. At least for me, that's how it seems like it's going. So each 5 to 10 years, I'll get to the next art level and reach level 10. So I'm on 1, and I'm getting close. I feel like I'm nearly to 2. I can almost reach it. I'm putting my hand out into the air, and I'm trying to reach level 2 of this art process. So I'm almost there. I'm climbing the ladder to level 2. And I think the main thing that's stopping me is just learning a few extra steps. There's, perspective, and there's some techniques that I just haven't been learning that much about art. I'm just drawing, and I kind of forget about doing that. I know you're supposed to learn how to do stuff when you're drawing, but I get in the mode, in a zone where I'm drawing and it's like autopilot. I can turn it on and off, and this year I've just put it on autopilot. Look, I just doodle, draw, and not really think about it, but sometimes I have to go in and actually think about each individual line, where it goes, the perspective. But I'm not very knowledgeable in that area yet. I'm just good with making straight lines, confident pen strokes on the page, and I'm not too scared to do it. So really, I'm just missing some of the fundamental basics, but all I need to do is learn that, and then I can reach level 2, okay? Then I can get there. And then 3, I haven't named any of these levels. I don't know which is what is what, but we're there. We're getting there. So I have the confidence with my lines, and I think that's the most important thing. Obviously, it'd be great to have the knowledge of knowing this perspective, that, how to do this angle and whatever, but most people are afraid to put down lines. I think that's the main roadblock for beginner artists, or even if you're in the middle. It's just drawing. It's just putting down lines. And I'm past that. I'm not afraid to go in, put a line down. I know it sounds like easy, and it is, but some people have issues with that. You've just got to doodle, and this is a good place to start. I feel like now we've kind of gotten really good at this abstract drawing. We're going to move into level 2 the second half of this year, and we're really going to learn. We're going to educate ourselves. We have the confidence, we have the lines, we have the style, if you will, if you want to call it that, but now we need the skill. I guess you could call this a skill by itself, but it's not the exact skill that I want and what a lot of artists are trying to get to. This is just abstract doodling, but it's a great way to practice if you want to make straight lines, curved lines, any kind of line. This is a good place to start, I think. But there are some things I feel like I might have to unlearn because I'm so used to drawing the same patterns and stuff. Or maybe I don't have to unlearn it. Maybe I could just learn some other stuff and then add on to all of it. And that's how I'll find my unique, truly unique style. So that's the plan for the rest of the year. Hopefully I can stick to it. I'll also be working on the Monarch Machinations comic book, and this is kind of the reason why I don't make tutorial videos. It's much better to just show the process and talk about what it's all about, rather than how the techniques. It's kind of like just watch and learn. I don't feel like I'm experienced enough to actually make tutorials on how to do this and that. There's plenty of YouTube channels out there that can teach all about this, so, but maybe in a couple years I'll make some tutorials, or here and there. If it's just a unique thing, maybe I'll make a tutorial, but probably not, let's be honest.